All right, good morning. Good morning, good morning. We've got Deuteronomy 8, 9, and 10 today. This is day 73, Blue Letter Bible app, Bible in a year. We read the Bible chronologically. Things make more sense when you do it in order. Imagine that. I think it's all jumbled up, different things happen at different times. The books get jumbled. So you have to pay attention. Yes. That would be the word NASA in Hebrew, NASA, to prove. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 8. All the commandments which I commanded ye this day, ye shall observe to do, that ye may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land which Yahovah sware unto your fathers. And ye shall remember all the ways which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee and to prove thee. There's that word right there. To prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou would keep his commandments or no. That's how he knows what's in your heart. People say, oh, but he knows what's in my heart. Yes. And this is how he proves this. He gives you a test. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee not, make me know that man doth not live by bread only, but every word that proceeds out of the Lord doth man live. Okay, but not every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahovah doth man live. Oh, they don't. And their raiments wax not old upon thee, neither did thy foot swell these 40 years. So their sandals didn't fall apart. And they didn't need new clothes for 40 years. Thou shalt consider it in thine heart, that as a man chastens his son, so Yahovah thy chastens thee. That's pretty close to what's said in Revelations 3:19. I loveth who I chasteneth. Okay, because the love of God is that we obey his commandments. That is the love of God, is that I obey his commandments. That's 1 John 5, verse 3. His commandments are not grievous. Okay? Loving your neighbor with all your heart is rebuking sin. Okay? That's Leviticus 17 and 18. Okay, you're also in verse 15, we know that we're not supposed to be a respecter of persons. Whether you're poor or fancy, you get the same. You don't, shy away from the rich guy. No, if he's out of line, you rebuke him too. You don't want his sin to fall upon you. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahovah thy God, to walk in his ways and fear him. Okay, fear of the Lord. Fear of the Lord is defined right here. This is Deuteronomy 8, chapter 6. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahovah thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him. For Yahovah thy God bringeth into a good land of brooks and waters and fountains and depths and springs out of the valleys and the hills, and the land of wheat and barley and the vines and the fig trees and the pomegranates and the honey. So he's telling you, this is the promise to bring you into the land. Okay, so now what we're talking about, Deuteronomy 8 back, he's just retelling us what's going down with the Ten Commandments, with the Holy Covenant. Okay, written with the finger of God that go in the mercy seat. Okay, this is what's on the table right here. And it's the promise. It's a renewing of that promise to Abraham. In the land where thou shalt eat the bread without scarceness, thou shalt not lack anything. In a land whose stones are iron, out of the hills mayest they dig brass. And when thou hast eaten, art full, art shalt bless Yahovah thy God for the land which he has given thee. Beware that thou forget not Yahovah thy God in keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command you this day. What do you think they've done? People forgot him, man. Lest when you hast eaten and are full, and hast goodly houses and are dwelt therein, and when thy herds, thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, when thy heart be filled up, and thou forget thy Lord God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led thee through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein the fiery serpents and the scorpions and the drought, and there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint. Brought forth the water out of the rock of flint. This is Horeb. He's making the connection to Horeb here. If you read many of these different versions of the Bible, will flip-flop Horeb and Sinai. Okay, and that's not good. Not good. What's going on, Cecilia, Crystal? Hey, everybody. What's going on? Good morning. I'm at 8 verse 15. I'll just 8 verse 6, 8 chapter 8, verse 16 of Deuteronomy. Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he may humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do good at the latter end. At the latter end. The latter end. We're looks like we're getting close to the latter end. Turn on the news, it's a dumpster fire. And thou say in thy heart, my power and thy might, and thou hast gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember Yahovah thy God, for it is giveth thee power and get wealth, that he may be established his covenant, which he sware unto the fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be that if you do at all forget Yahovah thy God and walk after other gods and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall perish. Man, oh man, that ye shall perish if you're walking with other gods. What? He goes on to tell us not to obey, not to do sacrifices to other gods, not to worship other gods as the people do in the land which you're about to possess. Okay, that's all telling you to not do the pagan celebrations. And then what did we do starting in, after the first, second, starting in the third centuries, where they melded Christian and pagan holidays together? That's a no-go. That's a no-go. We're about ready to get to one. They reckon Easter by the equinox. That's a no-go. That's how the pagans did it. It's crazy. He says, I desire mercy, not sacrifice. So he doesn't care about the festivals every year. Okay, he desires mercy, not sacrifice. Mercy is his 10 commandments that he gave everybody. Okay, here's chapter 9. Hear, O Israel, thou art to pass over the Jordan this day and go in to possess the nations greater and mightier than yourself. Cities great, fenced up to heaven. A people great and tall, the Anakins, whom knowest, of any whom has heard say, who can stand before the children of Anak? Understand therefore this day that Yahovah thy God, goeth over before thee in consuming fire. He shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. Thou shalt drive them out and destroy them quickly. And as Yahovah has said to thee, speak not thou in thy heart after the Yahovah thy God might hath cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness, Yahovah hath brought me in to possess this land. So don't say it's for your righteousness, but for the wickedness of the nations that Yahovah doth drive them out from before thee. So it's not because his people were righteous that they were going to get to drive him out is because those people that were there were so wicked. Okay? He says, and back when he promised Abraham, he said 420 years, your people will be in Egypt, or 430 years your people will be in Egypt, and the fullness of the wickedness, the fullness of the transgressions of the Canaanites has not yet come forward. This is, KJV language, Old English type, but they hadn't gone fully wicked. Okay? Then when they did, he brought his people out of Egypt just to wipe them out. Not for thy righteousness or for thy upright of thy heart dost thou go to possess the land, but for the wickedness of these nations, Yahovah thy God doth drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which Yahovah sware unto thy fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He uses a people, he uses a government, he brings in another army to wipe these people out. He does the same thing. He just told you in 4. In Deuteronomy 4, there was a prophecy of, you're going to go all wicked, and I'm going to bring in somebody and wipe you out, which they did, which has happened before. The Assyrians, he brought the Assyrians in to wipe out the 10 northern tribes. The southern tribes didn't dummy up. 70 years later, he brought in years later, he brought in the Babylonians to wipe them out and take them into bondage. They repented and came back 70 years later. Understand, therefore, that Yahovah thy God giveth not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. Thou art a stiff-necked people. Remember and forget not how thou provokest Yahovah thy God to wrath in the wilderness from the day thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt until ye came to this place. Ye have been rebellious against Yahovah. Also in Horeb he proved Yahovah to wrath, so that Yahovah was angry with you and was angry with you, have destroyed you. Okay, that's when they made that golden calf. Okay, one thing you really got to understand here is that you have the people are in Horeb. He sends Moses 6.5 miles away up on the mountain, and you could see it. Okay, you could see the mountain in the midst of the fire. Moses goes up there. The people then are having their little party unto Yahovah. That's what Aaron said. Oh, tomorrow we're going to have a feast to the Lord. Okay. They were in Horeb. That's when it talks about, I made a covenant with them in Horeb. The people, they were in Horeb. I was gone up into the mount to receive the tablets of stone, even the tablets of the covenant, which Yahovah made with you. Then I abode in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Neither did I eat bread nor drink water. And Yahovah delivered me unto 2 tablets of stone, written with the finger of God. And on them was written according all the words which Yahovah spoke to you in the mount in the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. In the mount in the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that Yahovah gave me 2 tablets of stone, even the tablets of the covenant. And Yahovah said unto me, Arise and get thee down quickly from hence, for thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt, have corrupted themselves and are quickly turned aside out of the way which I commanded them. They have made a molten image. That's a no-go. People do not get involved in that idolatry. Furthermore, Yahovah spake unto me, saying, I have seen these people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under heaven, and I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mountain burned with fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and I behold, and ye had sinned against Yahovah your God, and had made you a molten calf, and turned aside quickly out of the way which Yahovah had commanded you. And I took the 2 tablets and cast them out of my hands and break them before your eyes, and fell down before Yahovah at the first of 40 days and 40 nights. Neither did I eat bread nor drink water, because of all your sins which ye had sinned in doing quickly, which in the sight of Yahovah, to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and the hot displeasure wherewith Yahovah wroth against you, to destroy you. But Yahovah hearkened unto me that at that time also. And Yahovah was very angry with Aaron, to have destroyed him. And I prayed for Aaron also at the same time. And I took your sin, the calf which ye had made out of the burnt fire, and stamped it, and ground it very small, even until it was small dust. And I cast the dust into the brook, and descended out of the mount, and Taberah, and Massa, and Kibroth Havas. And ye provoked Yahovah to wrath. Likewise, when Yahovah sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up to possess the land which I have given you, and ye rebelled against the commandment of your God, and ye believed him not, nor hearkened to his voice. Oh man, his voice. What's his voice? What we heard out of the midst of the fire. Ye have been rebellious against Yahovah from the day that I knew you. Thus I fell down before Yahovah 40 days, 40 nights, as I fell down at the first, because Yahovah had said he would destroy you. I prayed therefore unto Yahovah, and said, Lord God, destroy not the people and thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed through thy greatness, which thou hast brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember thy servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not unto the stubbornness of this people, nor their wickedness, nor their sin, lest the land be thou brought us out to say, because Yahovah was not able to bring them into the land which he had promised them, and because he hated them, he hath brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. Yet they are thy people and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest out by the mighty power and the stretched out arm. Chapter 10. And at that time Yahovah said unto me, Hew thee 2 tablets of stone like unto the first, and come up unto me unto the mount, and I will make thee an ark of wood. And I will write on the tablets the words that were in the first tablets, which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and he hewed the 2 tablets of stone like unto the first, and it went up into the mountain, having 2 tablets of my hand. He wrote on the tablets according to the first writings, the 10 commandments, which Yahovah spake into the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. And now Yahovah gave them unto me. And I turned myself down and came down from the mountain, put the tablets in the ark which I had made, and there they be as Yahovah had commanded me. And the children of Israel took their journey from Beroth of the children of Jachin to Mosra, where Aaron died, and there he was buried. Eleazar, his son, ministered in the priest's office in his stead. From hence they journeyed unto Gulgoth, from the Gulgoth to Jobath, the land of the rivers of the waters. And at the time Yahovah separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of Yahovah, and to stand before Yahovah, to minister to him, and to bless his name unto this day. Therefore Levi hath no part nor inheritance with his brethren. Yahovah is the inheritance according to Yahovah thy God promised him. I stayed in the mount according to the first time for 40 days, 40 nights, and Yahovah hearkened unto me at that time also. And Yahovah would not destroy thee. And so thankfully, Moses did that fast talking. Moses interceded for him, and they did not get destroyed. And Yahovah said unto me, Arise, take thy journey before thy people, that may go in to possess the land which I swear unto their fathers to give unto them. And now, Israel, what doth Yahovah thy God require of thee, but to fear Yahovah? Verse 8. Okay, chapter 8. What's fearing God? Keeping his commandments. But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to love him, and to serve him with Yahovah thy God, all thy heart, with all thy soul. What's that? That's number 1 commandment, right, guys? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul. is to obey his commandments. That's defined in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5. To keep his commandments, and reiterated here, and to keep his commandments of Yahovah, his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good, for thy good. Behold, the heaven and the heavens is the Lord's, and God, and earth also with all therein is. Only Yahovah had delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskins of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. For Yahovah, your God, is a God of gods, the Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons. He doesn't respect of the persons, nor taketh reward. He doth execute the judgment of the fatherless and the widow. What is the cause of the fatherless and the widow? Not obeying his commandments is the cause of the fatherless and the widow. That's what we're supposed to judge. And loveth the stranger in giving him food and raiment. Therefore ye were strangers. Ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Thou shalt fear Yahovah thy God, and thou shalt serve, and to him thou shalt cleave and swear by his name. His name is Yahovah. Yahovah. He is thy praise, and he is thy God, that hath done for thee these things, these great and terrible things which thine eyes have seen. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, and now the Lord thy God hath made thee as the stars of heaven for a multitude. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So I get all the way out to the end of this, and one person stuck around. So, this Deuteronomy, you could almost, if you were to break these up in pieces, and the chapter and verse does that, but really you have the first section where we're talking about the Holy Covenant, where he wrote on the 2 tablets of stone what we heard the day of the assembly, and he added no more. That's Deuteronomy 5 verse 22, and he goes on to talk about that, and then he's going to talk about the handwritten ordinances, and he's going to have Joshua, and they're going to write the handwritten ordinances, and they will put them beside the ark. So today they conflate the two together, but we know if we understand, and not many people do. Peter warns us that Paul will confuse people. But in Galatians 4, where he says he makes 2 covenants. 2. They don't, man. They don't want to listen to the truth. Oh, praise Yah. Oh, my goodness, yes. 2 covenants, he says. And then he gives us an allegory of Sarah and Hagar, okay? Don't touch Mount Sinai. And you know what's wild, Kevin? You know what's wild is many of when I look at a lot of the passages here where it says Horeb, and it says Horeb a lot between the beginning of Deuteronomy to here, first 10 chapters. Some of these books just will call it they'll call it Sinai. Where the KJV says Horeb, those other NIV or whatever will just call it Sinai, and it's like, oh man, people trying to trick us. I love you guys. And that's day 73, Blue Letter Bible app, Bible in a Year. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow.